second grade. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another remote learning math lesson with Mr. Renzi. So today we are going to be doing grade 2, lesson 7.4. This lesson is called Measuring with Yards. And your assignment today is going to be to complete Math Journal, page 175, only problem number 1. And you can do that in your math journal, or you can do it right in the seesaw activity. All right, so let's get started. Now, earlier in the year, we learned about an inch. And then we learned that we put 12 inches together, and then we would have the foot. And we talked about the foot-long foot. Well, today we're going to learn that when we take 3 feet and we put 3 feet together, we get a yard. So 3 feet, 1, 2, 3 gives us a yard. So that's 3 units of measurement. The inch, which is small, the foot, which is bigger, and then the yard, which is 3 feet put together. All right, let's watch a little video before we move along.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it. We know we can always put 12 inches inside a foot, and 1 yard just won't be complete if it does not contain 3 feet.
1 inch is what you got if you're looking at the top of a bottle of pop. On your thumb is about 1 inch from your knuckle to your fingertip.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it.
The length of the folder where your work is put measures out to just 1 foot.
You'll find a foot if you look at the height of the parrot on my hook.
Yar. A football field has 100 marks. Each one is a yard apart.
At the plate with a softball bat, a yard is about what you're looking at.
Open your fingers a pinch and make an inch. Then make your hands look just like a foot. Put them 3 times as far and make a yard. Now we know how long they are.
We are the women and men of measurement. If there's a distance, we find the length of it.
All right, so let's recap. So an inch, which is abbreviated with the letters I-N, an inch is about the size of your top part of the thumb. So that is about an inch. Take a look at your top part of the thumb to see what about an inch measures. Now, a foot, which is abbreviated as FT, a foot is about the size of your math journal. So if you don't have a ruler at home, you could use your math journal to represent about 1 foot. Now, a yard is about an arm span. If you stretch your arms wide on both sides from tip to tip, you get about a yard for a second grader. Okay, and a yard is abbreviated YD. All right, now just to review a little here, I have a little tiny Lego minifigure. A Lego minifigure would be used Two, we would measure inches for the Lego minifigure because it's not very big. And for our door here, we would use feet to measure our door because it's a lot bigger than our Lego minifigure. But when we have something that's really big, like a football field, now we're going to use yards. So those of you that actually play football, on that football field, you know that you have to go 10 yards to get a first down or 100 yards from one end zone all the way to the other end zone to score that touchdown. All right. So let's do a little review here and let's see how much we've learned so far. So if I wanted to measure the length of a track, so those of you that run track, would I use inches, a very small measurement, my thumb? Would I use feet, about the size of my journal? Or would I use yards, about my arm span? What would be the best way to measure the track? All right, everybody should have their answer. Hopefully you picked yards. Because the track is so big, we would use a bigger unit of measurement, and the yards is the biggest unit there. How about the height of a man? When we talk about the height of an adult, do we say their height in inches? Do we say their height in feet? Or would we say their height in yards? Take a minute to think. What do you think? Okay, so I wouldn't measure the height of Mr. Renzi using my thumb. It would be too little. And if I used yards, the yard would be, it's going to really not give us a good measurement because it's just too big. So we are going to use feet to measure the height of a man. Good job. How about a pair of scissors? We want to see the length of a pair of scissors, how long it is. Would we use inches, feet, or yards? What do you think? Well, because the scissors aren't that big, okay, it's smaller than yards. It's smaller than a foot, so we are going to use inches to measure the scissors. And our last one here is the height of a tree. Now, I'm going to tell you that this is a really big tree. So would we use inches to measure the tree? Would we use feet, or would we use yards to measure this really big tree? Well, if it's a really big tree, you're right. We are going to measure yards. Now, if the tree wasn't too big, maybe it was just a little bit bigger than the height of an adult, then we could use feet to get a really good measurement. All right, my friends, here is your job. You're going to be working on Math Journal, page 175, but you're only going to do problem number 1. Now, you can do this problem right in your Math Journal if you want, or you can do it right in Seesaw because it'll be a part of this activity. Let's take a look at the directions. Number 1, find things that are about 1 inch long, about 1 foot long, and about 1 yard long. Use a ruler, a tape measure, or a yardstick to help you. List them below. You can use these as your personal references to help you estimate lengths. So if you don't have a ruler at home and you want to find some stuff in your house that might be about 1 inch, then you can use the top part of your thumb. So you're going to find some things that measure about 1 inch, and then you're going to list those 5 things that you found. Then you're going to look for some items in your house that might be a foot. Now, if you don't have a foot ruler, you can use your math journal because that's about 12 inches. So once you find those items, you're going to list them down. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to look for some things in your house that measure about 1 yard long, 3 feet long. Now, if you don't have a yardstick, you can use your arm span to try and see what would be about 1 yard. And then you're going to list those items down. All right, my second grade mathematicians, get to it. I can't wait to see what you find in your house that might be 1 inch, 1 foot, or 1 yard long. Have a great day.